You're right, Gangrene UK. You're joining us for episode 52. I'm joined by Kane, James, and Otis, and we are going to do our first round full mock all teams, our annual event where we all fall out with each other. Welcome along, guys. How are we all doing? James, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. You excited for it?
Yeah. Nice. Draft season. One of the best times of the year, mate. Yeah.
What about you, Kane?
Yeah, can't wait. It's fine over there.
See, I know he's excited, but that Birmingham accent just, I'm all right. And welcome back, Otis. Finally finished playing with your balls. How are you feeling?
Yeah, very good. Pleased to be back. Really looking forward to getting involved a little bit more again. Yeah, can't wait. Gonna be ace.
So our mock draft videos always tend to take a while. So what I think is we will crack on straight away, and we will open the draft with the number one pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So guys, after a little tech hick, the Jags are on the clock and they have the full board available. So personally, I think it's only going one way. We'll do it as we normally do. We'll say each position that we think they're going to go for, and then we'll put our players forward. And if we disagree or we have a couple of different players, we'll give the reasons why. So James, where you feeling the Jags are going to go here?
Well, yes, for me, I think they've got to go edge, really. Lots to talk about Walker, but I think Hutchinson's the one. Best player in college football, best defender of the year, absolute standout. Yeah, I think you can't go too wrong with that pick. So that's Hutch.
What about you, Otis? Where are you sitting?
I think the same. I think Walker's going to be in the discussion because he tested like an absolute freak. But freaky combine numbers don't make you a good football player. Whereas Aiden Hutchinson, 14 sacks last year, culture guy that everyone's saying turned the program around, was the reason they were winning. So I think you want that kind of culture guy on defense. You took Trevor that does the same thing on offense. So Hutch it is.
Kane?
Yeah, I think if they don't pick Hutch, there'll be a lot of uproar. But I do think Walker will be in the conversation as well on the night. But we shall see. But I pick Hutch at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. I mean, everybody's drafts pretty much have Hutch going here. He's got all the abilities that you would need. And let's face it, he's going into a pretty soft division, if we're being honest. So he's going to stand out. He's going to wreck some quarterbacks' lives, that's for sure. I think we could lock that pick in.
Definitely.
I don't think, well, I would be upset because I wouldn't mind Hutch. But yeah, I think that's got to be the only pick for Jacksonville. So Detroit Lions. What are we thinking, guys? Okay, guys, Detroit Lions. A lot of needs in this team. The first team on the list tonight that we could say need a QB quite badly, or at least somebody to step up next year. Where are you feeling them going, Kane?
I think they'll be the team who'll pick a quarterback somewhere within the first round. I think it might be a surprise on the night, you never know. But they need edge as well, so I think edge, possibly Trayvon Walker.
Nice. Otis, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think based on their production and where the quarterbacks have come from, I'm not sure that they go this highly. I think edge is probably the one, and I think based on the amount of hype he's getting and everything else and the way he tested, and he hasn't got the attitude question marks that Thib has, I think Trayvon Walker, like Ken says, is probably the right pick here.
What about you, James? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't mind the Walker idea at all, but I'd say Thibodeau here, mainly because I don't want the Jets to have a choice to draft him. But yeah, so Thibodeau for me. But yeah.
Nice. So you are all saying edge. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with it being the Lions if they did do something a little bit out there.
Do they have another pick in the first round at the end?
They do. They have
Yeah,
32 as well. But
If they don't pick a quarterback, they, I believe, see what's available there and trade up.
They could trade up, yeah. If
Yeah.
Willis or the Pittsburgh quarterback end up falling into the mid-20s or early 20s, they could easily move up 10 places, couldn't they, with a second-round pick or something?
Yeah.
I mean, my big thing with Walker is when you look at his stat sheet, they don't scream it, but then I look at it and go, he was in that Georgia defense. I mean, you could put some of the best defensive players in the league in that defense and be like, what happened to them?
Yeah.
When you've got literally an elite front seven, it's very hard for any one player to stand out.
Like, the crazy thing about that defense is they say next year's is going to be even better. So they were like popping in and out were like still studs as well. So
That's nice.
crazy.
I think it says it all, doesn't it, when Jermaine Johnson had to leave in order to get into the rotation. I think that's just okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Carry on.
I think, right, I do believe, guys, I'm happy to go edge, and I would say Walker will go above Thibodeau.
Yeah.
I'm the same as you, James. I would kind of like them to pick him so we don't have the option.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't be surprised to see Kyle Hamilton go here. And Detroit do a big culture change and go, we're going to take the best player of physical trait, whether they need it or not. And I mean, safety is a need for them. Well, defensive back is a need for them. But I think we can agree it's going to be Trayvon for our draft tonight.
Yeah.
Then that leads us on to Houston, who, yeah, Houston guys.
Lots of needs.
Well, that's it. I mean, the needs the same as everybody else. You've got edge, tackle, safety, cornerback, wide receiver, defensive line, quarterback. Did we mention quarterback? They probably need a quarterback.
Yeah.
This pick, guys, it's for me, it's kind of like the linchpin of the draft.
Yep.
Because they need almost as much as we needed last year.
Yeah.
But they don't have what we had available last year. There isn't a quarterback worthy of pick 3 for me. The 2 best edges are off the board. Now, there's still some quality edge players. Where are we feeling? Kane?
I could possibly see Fib going here, just because how JJ what changed kind of the culture kind of thing. But other than that, go best player available really here.
Otis, what about you?
I think based on their need and the division they play in and the fact they need something to start turning the franchise around, I'd go for a guy that has helped turn a college program around. He's helped to sort of change the attitude of the college program, and potentially I think could look back as being the best player in this draft, and that's Sauce Gardner. I think he could, when you look back, say that's the guy that shuts down half a field. That's the best player in this draft. I think he's going to be that good.
Yep.
James?
Yeah, I do agree with that point, to be fair. And be sad to see him go. Source probably where we're gonna go. But I still think tackle is a big need for them. I think Tunsil wants out as well. So that's kind of, they don't really have anyone then. So I would go tackle, but as best player available, probably the move for it.
Yeah, I'm very much where you're sitting at the moment. I do think the way this is going at the moment, it is Sauce that has to be the pick for us tonight. But I can see them taking a tackle here, then maybe doing a cornerback later on their second pick, and then maybe double dipping back in with another tackle somewhere down in the draft, or maybe a guard. But I think for this, I think we're all in agreement that Sauce is probably the pick.
I think the other thing that sort of backs that up is the fact we don't know on the Tonsil situation. There's a lot of rumours that he wants out, but there's no official. If that was to be official, he's out before the draft. I think that changes this pick completely. But if he's still there on draft night, which it looks like he's going to be, I think you have to assume he's going to play.
Right. Well, I'm going to remember you said that when we get on the Jets picks. But yeah, let's lock in Gardner, and then we're just going to go straight into it with the Jets. Pick 4 of the NFL draft. And the worst nightmare is still there. That is going to probably be the best pick we ever make if we make it. James, what we feeling? We've made this pick a million times this year.
Yeah.
Where are we going? What we taking?
I'm not going to do it still. Can't make me. Gun to my head here, I would.
You still can't take.
Can't do it. I'd probably have to grab Kyle Hamilton here, and I'm probably wrong on Thibodeau, and I'll take it if I am, but it's just not for me,
And Otis, what are you feeling?
I think it's got to be Thibodeau. I think if he falls to here, I think they run up to the podium and take him. However, Jordan Davis really tempts me. If John Franklin Myers and Lawson can play, and you could put the freak that is Davis next to Q, I think that would be interesting. But I think John Franklin Myers kicks inside to have Thibodeau on the outside. So I think you just play him. I think that's the pick. I think it makes sense.
Nice. Kane sat there with a big grin on his face. What we saying?
My player's gone, so.
Toys are out the pram.
I'll throw another curveball in there, though. Jermaine Johnson at 4. That's what I think.
I mean, it's edge. I don't think he's wrong. I don't know if I like it.
I just don't want Fib. I'm probably going to be wrong. And he's just going to prove it.
This time last year, if Thibodeau was on the board last year,
yeah, you'd run up to the podium.
I know. I would be literally sat here going, maybe we trade back in to get Zach. I would have took Thibodeau like number 1 pick. Well, maybe number 2 pick last year. And I think it will be, if this board is how it is, that will be the pick. Yeah. I agree that Jermaine Johnson probably should be the pick. But Thibodeau plays the style of football that Salah and LaFleur like. But Ulbrich can use him better than what he would use Johnson. Johnson would become that almost one-trick pony in Ulbrich's system, where Thibs got that thing of he can drop back equally as well as what he can rush.
And he sets the edge so well. Look how bad we were against the run for people getting outside. That man is a unit. No tackle is moving him off the edge. If he decides he's planting his feet and you're not going past him, that's it. It's end of.
So I'm happy to lock in Thib. And the thing is, if he comes and his attitude is right, I'm going to be very happy. My only concern is that he is disinterested. And the last time this happened, when we took a player off the edge, was Ja'Kai Polite.
The one thing I would say, though, and you can do this for every draft, you can say about Ja'Kai Polite, I agree, bad pick. You can say it about Zuniga as well, bad pick. But then if you go back and look at previous drafts, we had the pick to take Warren Sapp and sat there and went, nah, Warren Sapp's attitude's not right, and he was a little bit hurt. And then Warren Sapp went to Tampa Bay and was the greatest thing in the league. True. It's hindsight's a fantastic thing. I think I really like Jermaine Johnson. I agree with Ken. I really like the kid. The fact he went to play snaps, I think, is so admirable. But if you were that good, you break the rotation. and Thibs was in the rotation all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
We're locking him in, guys.
Oh,
Then it takes us to the Giants.
Yep.
So we're going across MetLife. The Giants is a funny one because it don't matter what they need because they never get any better. Anybody got an opinion on what they should go for? I mean, I feel like I say it every year for them. I personally think it's tackle or edge.
I think it's offensive tackle.
Yeah, they need a this is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got the best 2 offensive tackles in the draft sat there, and I think they just pick the one they like.
I don't even think it's a question. I mean, we could lock this in now. We all know what's coming. We know it's Icky.
Yeah.
Anybody disagree with Icky coming in?
Nah.
No.
Right.
No.
I mean, it's that we could go through all of the reasons that we've just said for the last 2 picks, because these 3 picks, 3, 4, and 5, are all dependent on each other.
Yeah, definitely.
And Icky's the pick, guys. We're going with it. We're
Well,
flying.
they're
We're
gonna
off
stick
on a
with
roll.
Jones. So they're gonna stick with Jones for another year. So it's got to be the pick, hasn't it? So
Couldn't
yeah.
agree more.
Carolina Panthers.
I've got a curveball for
It's
you.
another team where everyone was, oh, they're there again.
I've got a curveball for you.
Go for it.
Malik Willis.
I was
Matt Rule decides that he's there and he wants his guy and he wants to build a franchise around somebody. And I think he chooses the guy that's got insane weapons, run, pass, the lot.
I mean, I don't see them going anywhere else. I mean, I think if Icky's off the board, it's a reach for Cross.
Yeah.
A little bit of a reach.
Yeah.
And I don't think Neal has done enough. He's dropped off so many people's board. Now, there could be an argument that Neal would go as a tackle and you're helping Sam, but we tried helping Sam.
They've given up on him. Did you see that press conference the other day?
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Whether it's Malik Willis or they go for Kenny Pickett as a more league ready.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't Matt Rule, I'd say Pickett's the pick. I think Willis is going to be better than Pickett, but I
100%.
think a coach has got to tie his career to Willis, and I think he's going to jump at the chance to do that to get rid of Sam.
Yeah.
So we going Willis here, guys. We all saying QB?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Locked. So then we jump back to Giants. Couldn't even get the word out then. I looked at the logo and I was just like, nah. Which is kind of how I feel about everything that we have to pick for them. Because right now I'm sitting here going, well, they're probably going to take a safety or a defensive back.
I think.
I think you got safety or edge, but it depends how good you think Hamilton is. If he's the best player in the draft, like people say, I think they go Hamilton personally.
I kind of think wide receiver because they did nothing this year.
But
They've got good receivers, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got a lot of money in receivers, I believe.
Yeah, Kenny Golladay and Shepard, and there's some players there.
You've got to think as well that O-line didn't really give them a chance to see what them receivers were like.
Nor did Daniel Jones, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
What about Neal?
I think Neal's an interesting one, but because you've already taken tackle at 5, I think it's got to be either edge or safety. And I think Hamilton can't linger much longer. He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've just lost the safety as well, I think.
I think that's the pick. If he's there, they're running.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick there. I think it's good value.
To be fair, if he's there, they're sending Saquon up running. Yeah, let's lock it in because we can and ah over them, but we all kind of went that way thinking it.
Yeah.
Then we come to the Falcons. So come on, Otis, give us your take on this.
So I think you could potentially see a curveball of Pickett and surprise everybody and replace Matt Ryan and have a guy that can maybe sit and compete with Mariota. But I also think that they need a culture changer and somebody that can give the franchise a bit of a shake. And I think Jermaine Johnson gives them that, someone that transferred to play ball, that loves playing ball and wants to give his all for the team. I think he'd be a great pick for them here.
Ken?
I think you're right with the quarterback thing, just based on how limited it is this year. Unlike top quarterbacks, if you don't go there, you haven't got a pick till the second round, or middle second round, and then who's going to be left? And they've just got rid of Matt Ryan for subpar quarterbacks, really.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that QB list, you've got Kenny Pickett, and then you've got Matt Corral, Sam Howell. Neither one of them are neither one of them fill me with excitement.
Matt Corral could be all right, but Sam Howell, no. Desmond Ridder might do okay, but then from then it's just downhill.
I was about to say, I think the top 4 on that list have got elements of the game that you like, but it's difficult to say. They know it's not a quarterback draft. They know there's not a home run quarterback in this. I think they might just go, let's suck it and see with Mariota and go again next year, because there's going to be better quarterbacks next year. It's difficult, isn't it? What do you think, James?
Strong points both. I agree. Quarterback and edge is probably good, but for me, just losing Ridley and like they got barely any receivers on that roster, I could see them going Wilson, maybe London here, but that's just where I'm thinking. If not, maybe I don't know. Probably a receiver for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can see all 3 positions here. It's one that I knew we were going to kind of sit and get stuck on. On the night, if the board has gone like this, I personally think we will probably see Johnson, because the wide receivers haven't gone off the board. They're back on the clock at 46. So there's a good chance that there's going to be one there. If Pickett is their guy, they're going to go with him. But for me, Pickett doesn't really fit them. They need something a little bit more dynamic than what he's got.
Yeah.
So for this draft, I would probably say edge, and yeah, it's got to be Jermaine Johnson. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they went Garrett Wilson either.
There's options there, isn't there? It's
Yeah.
a funny team to pick for.
So, yep. Otis, give us your player.
It would be Jermaine Johnson.
Kane?
Yeah, Jermaine. Go on.
James?
Wilson to be different.
Yeah, and I'm going to go in and go with Jermaine Johnson just because that's what I think makes sense.
No, I agree.
Then we'll go straight in, guys, to the Seattle Sea Turkeys, or as I like to call them, the New York Jets Booster Club. They just keep giving, don't they? Like, just keep giving. It's a funny one because we know they need a quarterback.
Yep.
But it is the year of the lock.
I also think that they desperately need an offensive tackle, and I think the guy that was arguably the best in the class is sat there. And would it be a good idea to keep Locke upright? They've already got a lot of good weapons, I think.
Yeah, they do not need a wide receiver. That's one thing for sure.
Or a tight end.
Yeah, tight end, wide receiver. They've never needed one. They probably will never need one. James, what are you saying?
That's just a strong point. I think tackle's the way. Whether you want to go, it's whether you really want to go with Pickett and risk it, thinking that. But I think a lot of people say he's at his ceiling, and what he is what you get. So don't know if that's a Pete Carroll guy. So I'd probably let's go with the tackle. Yeah.
Ken?
I'm stuck.
I give up.
Yeah. I think if they go tackle, it'll be Charles Cross over Evan Neal, to be honest.
What's making you feel that way?
I don't know. It just seems to fit more. I think.
The one thing I think with Cross, and I actually partly agree with Kane, is the fact that he's so nasty.
Yeah.
He's a nasty, nasty man. And I think that suits the Seahawks. It's difficult though, isn't it? Because of the level of competition, and Neal's produced for all those years. I'd be happy with either tackle to them, and I think they'd be happy as well. It just depends whether you want the nasty guy or the technically perfect guy.
I kind of see Stingley going there as well.
What was
You
that?
serious,
Sorry?
I kind of see Stingley going there as well.
See, cornerbacks are need and they like it.
Yeah.
But I think what Otis said about keeping Locke upright, I mean, that's got to be the main thing for me.
Yeah, they took the quarterback from the trade for a reason. So
Yeah.
I'll use him.
Oh yeah, I don't think this is a QB. I think they're going to give him a year, and then Pete Carroll will retire at the end of this year. The new guy coming in gets his QB and rolls with that. This is a transition. The Sea Chickens and all that. For me, I think you might be right about going for Cross over Neal because it's more that style.
It's nasty.
Should we go for that?
Yeah, happy.
Yeah.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Jets 10. So we took Edge already. Now, this is going to split us. Okay. There we go, guys. It had to happen. This is going to split us because I've got 3 picks here that I would be very happy with.
So have
I. James, what are you feeling we're going to do at 10?
Wide receiver, I think, for me. So Garrett Wilson, A1, London, A2, LRB, A3. All 3, I don't mind. I'm probably going Wilson here, though, personally. I do love Olave, but I think Wilson's the surest bet.
I know Fraser is very high on Jameson Williams.
A lot of people are, it seems.
And Kane, what about you? What are you thinking?
Evan Neal's still there. And I was against the tackle the whole time, but Evan Neal's still there. And because the tackle's so uncertain at the moment.
But with that argument that we had earlier on, the tackles are still there. So we don't know what's happening. So
other than that.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're exactly right. If we'd have been doing this in September and Neal was there, we would be going absolute ape right now.
Garrett Wilson, other than that.
Otis?
So there's 3 players I really like the idea of. One is Evan Neal, because I think he plays guard even if Becton comes back. And then you go, wow, what a line. Garrett Wilson, I think, is most people's favourite choice at wide receiver. I've got a big soft spot for Drake London, but I think the fact that Wilson is healthy makes him better than him, and Jameson Williams isn't healthy either, so therefore Garrett Wilson beats him for me. The other player that I would be interested in potentially taking is Stingley. I think LSU corners that wear number 7 are just bred different. Patrick Peterson, Honey Badger, there's a few of them that they can ball. But I think let's look at what we did with other quarterbacks. Sanchez was ruined by not having the right talent all the time. Gino, right talent wasn't there. Stafford, sorry. No, hang on. Darnold, yeah. Talent wasn't there. So I think you've just got to go Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. It's a huge year for Sam, and let's just get him.
Started off now, and I sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. I just got to get him that weapon, man.
Yeah.
I massively agree, but at the same time, Jordan Davis Manchild is there.
Wow.
I like him, but when you've kicked John Franklin Myers inside because you've taken Thib that means you, in theory, have got Sheldon Rankins, John Franklin Myers, and Q all
Yeah,
playing
but
DT.
none of them are going to be tired. We play rotation.
No, he's a great player, but I just don't with the other players that are there.
You know, the absolute thing is, right, the three players that I kind of picked early on are all there or thereabouts going now, and I'm really happy that I was even talking about these like early on.
Yeah,
you are 100% right. We're probably going to take a weapon,
and he is a weapon.
Personally, I think Olave is a better out-and-out prospect than Wilson. I think Wilson's numbers were so much better because Olave took a lot of pressure from his previous year's production. Olave, if he'd have came out last year, would have been a first-round pick. He's going to be a first-round pick this year. But I am more than happy to go Garrett Wilson if that's what the collective choose. But for me, it's an Ohio wide receiver, and I am going to watch Nick Mangold go mental when we pick one.
I think if you bring up their info page, I think Garrett's actually got the height and weight on him a little bit as well, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing for us.
Right, 5'11", 183 for Wilson.
I'm going to look like an idiot now if this is wrong, aren't
I? And I'm pretty sure Olave is 6 foot. Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was the other way around, but yeah, I'd go Wilson personally.
Kane.
Yeah, Wilson.
James.
Yeah, I'll go Wilson, but
I'm more than happy to go that way. Then we're going to move on to the Commanders, guys. Feels weird saying it.
It does, yeah.
Now, wide receiver, QB, safety, corner, linebacker.
Oof.
Now, this is a funny one because with Washington, there's a lot to take into consideration for me because they have been kind of changing their culture for the last couple of years. So we've mentioned it a few times that it's about a culture change here.
Yeah, new change, new name, new uniform, new quarterback. I think.
I don't think quarterback, I must admit, but I think that the player that I think they'll take isn't even on the list at the moment in your right hand side.
Yeah. What position are we talking?
We're talking wide receiver. Sat there at 24. The Thunder to McLaurin's Lightning. I think they load up and take Drake.
I've got no doubt they're taking a wide receiver. They're going to want a speed demon.
See, I think McLaurin gives you that. I don't think you need that. I think you need the big guy. McLaurin's a small guy. You need the big guy.
I think, yeah, but I mean, London is fast. Like, he's not the fastest, but he's fast.
Oh, no, I agree. I think he's the all-round package. I think route running, size, high balls, everything.
The only thing I don't like about him is he's from USC.
Yeah.
James, what are you feeling at this thing?
I like receiver as well, but Carson Wentz is a liability and you need to keep him safe. So I'm thinking Neal here, personally.
Oh.
Yeah, get some bit more protection.
I mean, that line wasn't horrendous last year.
No, and I think it was more interior than exterior, wasn't it? If I remember rightly, wasn't it the interior of the line that was weak?
Yeah, they were crumbling a lot from centre and guard.
Yeah,
but
I think the tackles are okay.
To be fair, that's not a bad shout.
No, because he can play guard.
Mm.
He's got not very mobile, is he?
But it's that thing. What was that? Sorry, Kane.
They just lost Brendan Scherf, whatever his name was, didn't they?
Yeah,
They did, and that's a very, very good point. I hadn't thought about the fact they'd lost Sharif and Neal's still there. That's a really good point. He's not going to fall much further, is he?
Well, no, because there's going to be a little bit of a run on him at the moment.
Yeah.
I think there will be a run on wide receivers in the next few picks as well. So I think there's going to be a few players here that are going to drop off quite quickly, I think. But that's a really good point from James. I hadn't thought about interior and then Neal moving in.
Yeah, I'd be happy.
I mean, it's one of them where linebacker keeps coming back for me on defense, but offensively,
Too early, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I could see them taking Neal because he is that. He is the one that's played pretty much every position on the line, isn't it?
Centre, not centre. Right
Everything
guard,
but
right
centre.
tackle, left guard. Yeah, and left tackle. Yeah, he's been awesome, and he's a flawless technician. That is his selling point, is that he's as good now as he ever needs to be. Pretty well, he'll just.
So do we slide him in then?
I think it's a very, very good point. He's a massive human being. I think it's a really good point.
Right then. I'm good with tackle. I think James threw in the perfect spanner there. Vikings are going to trade this pick for 13 sixth rounders because that's what the Vikings do. Now I'm guilty, guys. I don't massively look into the Vikings that much. It's a shame because they've actually got a great UK team that have a fan group, but cornerback, it's got to be Steric Dingley.
I've got a second need as well, which I think because of who's there is more or as glaring as corner, and that's interior defensive lineman. And I think Jordan Davis is going to be sat there twinkling at them going, you want a better pass rush. You've got Aaron Rodgers, you've got Justin Fields.
I would pay to see Jordan Davis destroy Aaron Rodgers. I
think there's a good chance.
Kane, what are you feeling?
I'm kind of thinking wide receiver. Just because they've got Jefferson and that's about it.
Thielen as well.
Yeah, Thielen's older, isn't he? No.
28, is he 29?
I love how 28's old in the NFL.
Yeah, it is fairly old.
It depresses me a little bit. I'm not going to lie, guys.
Getting that one.
No, it's a good shout.
Jameson Williams would go good there.
No. Yeah. With the Vikings, I'm always unsure because it's like a Raiders pick.
Yeah.
It could go absolutely anywhere.
I think based on the division they play in, I think for me, defense is probably the way. But I get what Kane's saying, that you could add an extra weapon, but then Kirk's got lots of weapons and he still can't hit them all anyway. So you need to stop them scoring points. It's like...
Yeah.
What do you think, James?
I think I'd say, to be honest, it is a good point by you. I'm Jordan Davis. For me, it's kind of just stare him in the eyes. The risks there with Stingley, probably going to be a great player, but I think, you're going to get a solid player with Jordan Davis in the middle. So
they're picking at 46 next.
Yeah, there's going to be wide receivers about at the top of the second, isn't there? And the mid. Yeah. Well, there's wide receivers all the way through the second. There's good players, isn't there?
I'm more than happy for them to take Davis in this draft. I do think it'll be wide receiver on the night.
Really?
Yeah. There's so many top players there that I think they'll struggle to pass up on it. But Jordan Davis for this one, it's in. Then we're now at the Houston Texans' second pick of the night at 13. Obviously, a few picks ago, they took a cornerback.
No, they need tackle, don't they? No.
Yeah, I think you've got tackle, and I think the guy you just mentioned, I think is going to tempt them as well. They've got a so-so quarterback. Perhaps they need a few weapons. Perhaps Jameson Williams is staying in the South and going to load up to play.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think they're your two options. I think Trevor Penning is the other option, as you say.
I can't see past Penning.
The fact they've lost two is a big thing.
Yeah, their wide receivers and everything are okay. They're all right. They're not terrible. It's not the biggest need. It's a need, but
it's the quality of player that he is, I think, that makes it sort of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
like there isn't many players left that have got his overall upside, is there? Like he is, I know how high Fraser is on him. He's an absolute freak, isn't he? Like they reckon he's the fastest wide receiver in the class, and you've got Olave, Garrett Wilson in there, and they're burners themselves. And he's even quicker and he's bigger. It's a hard one. It is really hard.
Right, just checking. We are going to check to make sure he is bigger. He is bigger. You redeemed yourself 1 for 1. Right, let's go with it. We'll go almost like quick fire. What we're saying.
James?
Williams.
Kin,
Penny.
Penny, Otis.
I think Williams.
Right. I think Penning, but we're going to bring Fraser's vote in and we'll give them Williams. Because obviously he's missing it, so we'll add him in. Right, we'll go straight into the Ravens. Now, Ravens need D-line more than anything, but I think D-line here would be a reach because Davis is off the board.
Yeah, and I think they need a corner as well.
Yeah.
And
I'm not.
They've only got one now, haven't they? Because they lost their backup corner, didn't they? They've got Marcus Peters, which is obviously brilliant, corner one. But I think Stingley's. I think this is about the spot for him. I think it's the right kind of team. They love a defensive back up in Baltimore. They've had some great ones. I think he fits the mold. You don't like that, do you?
I don't like it. I feel kind of the same about Baltimore that I do about the Jets. We could make an average cornerback look good in the system.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to be going, oh, well, we need the super skill guy. I mean,
I don't think there's any interior. Well, there's no edge or interior defensive linemen that are worth this pick, are they?
No, not. I mean,
the one you could make an argument for is linebacker, the kid from Utah, because he is an absolute wrecking ball.
I mean, they are in need of a linebacker. They've needed a decent linebacker since CJ left.
Patrick Queen's good, isn't he? But he's not the he hasn't got the size, has he?
Yeah, I mean, what's Lloyd's size like?
Quite
Decent.
decent.
Yeah, he's a decent size. I've got corner down as their top team need. Perhaps me and you are looking at different need sheets on these guys.
Well, yeah, mine's like a mix of about 5 different ones.
Mine's tackle and cornerback, and then defensive tackle is my top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think corner's a big need for these guys at the moment.
I think corner as well.
Especially when you think of the players they're playing against. Look at the Browns, look at the Bengals, look at the Steelers.
Right. You know what, guys?
Rooms.
I'm more than happy to go with it.
Good. Know your place. Click the button.
We're going Stingley in, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
He's in. The Eagles. Wow. That's kind of that. That's the full thing on the Eagles, isn't it?
We all love the Eagles, don't we?
Just tumbleweed.
I think edge, OT, and wide receiver are all in play for the Eagles.
The thing is with the Eagles, they could have a million picks and they would still need everybody.
Yeah.
Because they don't, for me, that they're kind of like, I don't know, they're a good team on paper. And then on the field, they'll fall apart. I've got them needing cornerback, linebacker. I mean, this could be a great shout for Devin Lloyd. It's a bit of a reach, but
it is. But he's a hell of a player.
It's that kind of this is that kind of pick for me. What are you thinking, Kane?
They don't seem to have like a leader on the field anywhere. So the linebacker is probably a good shout, to be honest. Just someone to go there and like take command and sort them out a bit.
He's a hell of a player. He really is. He's a baller, man. I think Edge is the other one, but I don't think I'm not that high on the kid from Purdue, so I can't say his name.
Yeah, like if I ever got to call out a pick, I hope it's never a name like that. I mean, I don't work well with vowels anyway. James, what you feeling on this pick?
I would be leading receiver, but I think we can still get 2 good ones. A good one at 18. So I'm kind of in agreement. Let's get the linebacker.
Yeah, because I think if Lloyd doesn't go here, he could go at 16 or 17.
The Saints are an interesting one, aren't they? I think there's a lot of options for the Saints.
Let's put Lloyd in because with that way. Now Saints need I knew everything.
Yeah. I've got them down as needing a left tackle because their left tackle walked away in free agency, and I would personally go Trevor Penning.
I don't think there can't be a question that, like, really, they should probably take a QB.
I
But
don't
they've
know.
got
if good enough,
five.
is it?
They couldn't.
Yeah.
They've got 5 and don't want any of them to start. But yeah, they have to protect. Like you say, they've lost tackle. Wide receiver would be a good shout.
Yeah.
But they've got 19.
Yeah, they've got depth, haven't they, as well?
Yeah,
It's-
and like, yeah. You know what?
Olave or London will be there, and I think either one would fit their mold.
Yeah, Penning's the pick, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's grabbing.
Right. Chargers.
QB.
Imagine. Could you imagine that?
Great.
Chargers fans would like literally boycott. They've only just got some as well.
The rest of it.
Sorry, go for it, Otis.
It's a tough one, this, isn't it?
I could
And
see
like,
it.
for me, this is the hardest pick, but the easiest position to outline. Because their O-line's decimated, so they need O-line. Whether it be a guard or a tackle, they'll take either. But that's the pick right there.
Yeah,
Zion Johnson.
I like that.
That's an absolutely amazing pick. It's a pick of need. You're not reaching. You're getting an absolute baller.
Their team's also almost there, isn't it? Like, you're not short of weapons. You re-signed Williams. You're not short of defensive talent. You've got shed loads of it. I don't think that there's a whole reason not to. You can't really argue against it, can you?
Kane, what you saying?
I was thinking Olave, but like, I get what you're saying.
See, I don't have wide receiver like really as a need for them.
No,
It's
not
more
at
of
all.
a pleasure pick.
Yeah, I've got them down to start in Williams and Allen as their wide receivers.
I mean, the other way to go is D-line, but they need trenches for me.
Yeah, I think if there was a better edge there, they might be tempted, but I don't think the guy from Purdue's the guy.
It
Nah.
might protect him to be fair, Herbert.
And Winfrey, yeah, there's none of them are like this pick talent, are there?
No, I think Zion is about the right point, isn't he?
We in agreement?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then we're back to the Eagles, guys. That was me tumbleweed, by the way. So they've just took the linebacker.
Olave.
It is, isn't it?
Do you think?
It's a wide receiver.
I think it's a wide receiver, but I think it's Drake London.
Mm.
You've just taken Devin Smith, who is Olave, but better. You've just taken the guy that's small, runs the best routes in the whole draft. Why would you draft the next small guy that runs great routes? Just draft the big guy, right?
Imagine having 2 burners though.
He's not exactly slow, though, is he?
Well, none of them are slow. That's the worst part of it.
No. I like Olave, but I think, for me, I think Olave's the next pick. I think London makes sense here for the Thunder to the Lightning of Smith. And I think Olave goes to the Saints to complement Michael Thomas the other way. James?
Yeah, obviously I'm a big Olave guy as well, but I'm kind of thinking London because you're rolling with Hurts again. He's still working on that accuracy. He can maybe clean up some of those. London can clean up some of those bad balls.
Yeah,
I'm thinking London here, and Olave again pretty soon.
The only other option, although I think he's a bit of a reach here, is corner and Andrew Booth Jr. Like, their cornerbacks aren't great.
No, they could do with one, but
Well, look at the teams you're playing. We've just said about the Giants wide receiver quality. We've just said about Washington taking a wide receiver with Jameson Williams, didn't we? I think.
yeah, but I mean, when do they
it wasn't.
pick after this first round pick?
And
Yeah,
they've
not for a while, is it?
got another first rounder, haven't they?
No, this is the last first rounder, isn't it? 18.
I don't know.
Yeah, 18's their last one in the first, and then they have. Wow, yeah, they don't pick till 51, but you're looking at that. The chances are that McDuffie might fall that far.
I think he goes before them personally. I think there's a potential with how the draft's gone for us that he could be looking for us if he falls that far.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe Bryant will be there as well, which wouldn't be a reach for me at 50.
Yeah.
I think he's got that ability. So yeah, 18.
It's a tough one, isn't it? There's a couple of players there for him.
Yeah. I mean, I would see a wide receiver going.
Yeah, and I think I agree.
James?
Yeah, wide receiver for me.
Right. Call out the player that you want to go there.
London.
Ken?
I say London.
London it is.
Do you know,
Right.
I think that actually gives him the best wide receiver in the draft.
Yeah, but you're high on him, just like Kane was high on Kyle Pitts last year. Right. This is a wide receiver pick. Right. Now, the question is, do people rate Treylon Burks higher than Chris Olave?
Olave's the guy. I think to complement what Michael Thomas brings with that bit of size,
Well,
I think
a sick
Olave.
note.
Pardon?
A sick note.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas brings a sick note. Right, James, what are you saying here? Olave?
Yeah. If we're not going to go QB, Olave.
Ken? Throw your spanner in.
Kane likes Burks, doesn't he?
Now I could see Matt Corral going in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't expect that. I must admit.
Downside.
I don't entirely disagree either.
Yeah.
I think he's an interesting prospect. He's got a lot of tools, hasn't he?
Mhm.
See, I think if there's any indication that the Saints are going to take a QB with that pick, Pittsburgh would have traded with the Eagles.
See, I don't think there is, because I think the QB that Pittsburgh wants still there.
Pick it.
Yeah.
I think they take the Pittsburgh kid.
Well, I
think
mean,
you go load
Corral
up.
or Olive are the pick at 19 for me. Either one of them. I can see both.
I think I'd go Olave personally, just based on the fact that he's a more of a sure thing, but it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. James, you saying Olive. Kane saying QB. You know what? Just for the safety side of it, I'm going to go wide receiver. So that slides that in.
Guys,
we've already just decided
hating.
we all know where Pittsburgh are going.
Yeah.
Like Pittsburgh are sitting at 20 and then know they're going to get their man.
Yeah.
Like imagine that. We were at 3 when we were rocking.
Mhm. Yeah,
So do we all agree that it's Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh going to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh kid.
These guys are going to lose their pick. We've got the Patriots at 21.
This is a tough pick, right?
I hate everything about this because it's Andrew Booth Jr. without a shadow of a doubt.
I agree to replace JC Jackson. I couldn't agree more.
Like, I hate it.
Good player, isn't it?
He's a quality player.
Yeah, he is.
He's everything that the Patriots want and like, and I hate the fact that he's there.
Yeah. Such a solid tackler as well, isn't he? He fits the Bill Belichick, like a corner that can hit people and everything.
Yeah, he likes to hit. He likes to cover. He's side to side. He's fast. Everything.
Yeah.
Is that the pick?
Yeah. Which is really annoying.
Then we don't have to talk about them anymore. Green Bay are not going to pick a wide receiver, guys.
I think they are. I think Kane's man goes to Green Bay. I think they finally give Aaron Rodgers what he needs.
They have to after all that.
Yeah.
There is no way you can sit on him.
Oh.
No, just resigned him. No.
I don't think he makes it to 28 because I think there's the potential for the Tennessee Titans to take him.
Or the Bills.
Cardinals.
Yeah, I personally think you take him here because you know the drop off after.
But you look at it as well. Like, Edge isn't screaming, pick me here. Although you're not reaching for him, but I tend to agree. I don't personally think George is a first round talent.
Well, I think he'll end up at 28. I would, if he's there at 28.
Oh yeah, if he's there at 28, they'll take him for need.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
They're
That's
also.
where I think he goes.
I don't think they'd take him here just because he's there.
I think they know who's following them, and they take Burks for that reason.
Burks, is that the pick?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Cardinals. QB?
So I've got them as cornerback, edge, and something else. I didn't.
I have them at cornerback, edge, and QB.
Wide receiver I've got, which is why I thought they'd take that. I think you could talk I can't say his name, that guy, George. And I think also Elam from Florida. I think he's a really good player.
I think the Florida picks the pick.
I think Elam will go.
Oh,
James?
don't be different now. We've all been good.
Elam. All right. Okay.
What did you say there? Sorry. I missed that.
Elam.
Elam. All right, we'll lock him in.
Yeah.
We move on to the Cowgirls. Or the cow person. Sorry, I'll be politically correct. This is an interesting one again.
Yeah.
They need guard. They need D-line. They need edge. It's trenches all around.
I think they need a safety as well.
Yeah.
I think that Daxton Hill from Michigan could be a nice pick.
Great player.
My
Could be,
cow
but
friend
can
is-
they pass up on that edge?
I think so. They've got two players still there on their God, I can't think of their name now.
Yeah, no, you're
Brendan
100% right.
Schaefer.
And then they've got the linebacker that they got who likes to rush as well.
Yeah.
Adding in another edge rusher.
Edge and safety I've got as their two top picks. It depends on how high you are on George, doesn't it? I think he offers value here, but it's whether you think Daxton Hill is a better player. And I think for me, I think Daxton Hill is a better player, but I don't know.
Right, fair. Kane?
I've got a cowboy mate, and all he talks about is safeties all the time. So I've made that self.
Fair. James?
Yeah, I'll go Hill as well.
All right, we'll slide him in. It's one team I don't actually care who they pick. It's just the Cowboys, isn't it? Like the Bills, this next pick, I'm like, again, I hate everything because there's at least 3 players there that I want, but I know where they're going.
I think Trent McDuffie goes here, which really makes me sad because we've got to play him and Booth.
There isn't another pick there, is there?
I don't think so. Not based on what they need. Corners just they keep losing to Kansas. Well, what do you need to beat Kansas? Just load up on corners.
Yeah, the only other one that could kind of highlight for them is Perion Winfrey from Oklahoma.
Oh, do you think? I was going to say I like the idea of Nakobe Dean. Could you imagine Chase Edmonds and Nakobe Dean in the middle of a defense just going, run at me?
See, Dean would be a great pick.
He would, but he doesn't represent a need, I don't think.
Yeah, it's for me, that would be like the 6th need on the list.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think he's an amazing player as well.
Ian, what you saying?
Yeah, McDuffie makes sense. It's a pair of
McDuffie,
it, what's his
Yeah.
name?
Full ass.
full ass.
Full ass.
Tennessee Titans. Where are we going? What we saying? Kane.
Nakobe Dean.
Yep,
Yeah, they
agreed.
completely
I mean,
out.
I have them needing guard like really highly.
Yeah.
But
I've got their needs down as wide receiver, linebacker, and offensive tackle. So, yeah, linebacker for me
Yeah, I've got
because
linebacker.
Dean sat there.
yeah, I hate it because I was hoping he was going to fall to us.
Oh,
in the second.
don't! I'd love that. Could
If
you
we
imagine?
got him in the second, I swear to God, like I'd be swinging off Nick Mangold's arms as he was cheering.
It'd be unbelievable, wouldn't it, for him to slide to the second? I just can't
We'll
see it.
slide him into the Tennessee Titans. Then what we giving Tom Brady?
Dog shit.
Because
Sorry.
technically he needs a guard.
Punter.
Yeah, interior offensive line, I think, is the way it goes, and I think you've got a good player there in Green from A&M.
But they could also do with a D lineman as well, because I think they've just lost a D tackle.
I don't think there's a D tackle there that would be someone that you were running to the podium for, would you?
I'm not running, but I don't think
I
I'd be
think-
upset with it.
I think keeping Brady upright is the option,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Ken, you agreeing there with that nod?
Yeah, I like that.
So what we saying? Who?
Green.
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 Yeah.
And then what? We just got rid of Green, and now we're on to Green. That's George, isn't it?
Yeah, that's George.
We'd already made that pick 3 picks ago. Double picks for Kansas.
Yeah, nice spot, right?
They're double dipping. And really, when you think about it, Kansas are so close to being broken and so close to being champions at the same time.
Yeah.
They need a wide receiver and they need an edge rusher for me.
There's another position they need because they haven't re-signed the best one in the league or one of the best ones in the league, and that's safety. And I think Seen from Georgia represents a fantastic pick here.
I'm the same though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy, James.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing any value picks at this number. So yeah, I think.
Right. So then now we're looking at it. Is it wide receiver or edge more important to them? Because the wide receivers,
they reach for Watson, I think, from North Dakota.
I mean, we'll have a look what's that edge as well. I mean, that's
what's their corner situation, guys? That's the only other one I've got as a question mark. I've got 3 needs down, and then question marks around corner as a 4th need, but I wasn't sure.
So corners wise, when we have a look, they've got DeAndre Baker, Rashid Fenton, L'Jarius Sneed, and I think Zane Anderson, who slides in sometimes. So yeah, they are a little bit lean at corner.
If you're trying to win a title, it's something you need, isn't it? It's like Mahomes is going to elevate other wide receivers, and they signed some in free agency. So I think there's the chance they maybe wait on corner, but wide receiver. But I think corner is something they definitely need.
Yeah.
Who is available?
Who is available in the cornerback class?
Oh, is that scrolled up? Oh dear.
Yikes.
And
Okay.
their next pick is
60 something?
62. No, 50. So it's not actually horrendous.
No, and there's a couple of corners that could be there. Kobe Bryant's in play potentially there as well, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, I mean, corner, I'm looking at that and going, they ain't taking corner because the corners are going to be there on their next pick.
Yeah.
So if we're not going corner, are we going wide receiver and reaching?
I think Watson is the type of player they like, but I think it's a huge reach, isn't it? But then, who else have you got? Like, is there an edge there that's maybe? Not really.
No, not really.
Not, yeah.
What about running back?
They took Charles Edwards-Helaire, didn't they? So you'd think they're going to roll with him, wouldn't you?
They would, but they're not against using 2 in a rotation. Reese could be a shout, but I feel like wide receiver's the pick.
I think they could. Yeah, I think reaching for one here, because Mahomes is going to make them look good, so you can't really make yourself look like an idiot as a GM either, can you? If you're going to reach for something Mahomes can help.
Who's this? Have they got a centre?
Yeah, their centre's okay, isn't it? I don't think they lost much of their O-line, did they? Didn't it stay pretty intact?
Austin Relita is there?
Yeah,
center?
I haven't got. I've got no primary need of offensive lineman. I've got primary needs of wide receiver, corner, edge, and safety. But obviously, we addressed safety before with Seen. Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I don't know.
I personally, I'm all in on wide receiver reaching for Watson.
I think there's not much choice at this point. Really.
And I think they're in the luxury position of being that good a football team. They can afford to reach somebody if they want to.
Yeah. I mean, It's not a massive reach. It's a couple of picks, really.
No, and he is rising all the time, isn't he? He's risen a lot.
Yeah.
All right, he's picked.
Okay.
The Bungles.
Lindenbaum. Really.
Yeah, I think interior offensive lineman is definitely a shout, and I think cornerback and safety. Brisker, I think, is probably an option around here for me, but it's either him or Lindenbaum for me.
Yeah, Linderbaum.
I don't see them taking a centre.
No, I think the safety is more likely.
Guard would be perfect.
Yeah, I think safety is more likely than guard than centre. I think, but yeah, I'm happy to go with the flow here a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's vote it in then, guys. Who you wanting?
I'd go Brisker.
Lindenbaum for me.
Kane?
Yeah, Tyler.
We'll slide Linderbaum in. I don't think it'll work out that way on the night. I think Linderbaum will fall into the second.
Yeah, no, I do.
Just because he's a centre for no other reason. Lions, last pick of the day.
I think this is where Kane's guy goes. I think they take Matt Corral to learn from Jared Goff, and he replaces him next year.
Yep.
Yeah, Ole Miss man. Strong agree.
Well then, boys, the last pick of the first round, we did it pretty quick. We haven't really disagreed or argued, which is quite nice. I don't know why it's just giving me one. Oh,
I'll do the.
If you click full results, does it show you that or not?
Yeah, it should give you everyone.
There we go.
So I mean, Hutch going first, Walker, Gardner, Thibodeau, Ekwonu. I mean, it's what we're seeing all the way around. There's a couple of picks that we've kind of went a little bit
Against the grain,
off
maybe.
on, but
Yeah.
overall, I think it's a pretty accurate representation for what we know, which is pretty much nothing.
I don't think any of the teams would be horribly mad with what we've done, would they?
No,
No, I don't think anybody would be upset. I don't think we've done anybody the dirty even when we could have.
No, I agree. Even the Bills, you give them a great corner. What's that about?
It doesn't matter. The Bills always seem to end up at that point where somebody good is where they fall. It's awful.
Yeah, the Patriots get that as well.
Yeah, but that's because they get compensatory picks all the time.
Yeah,
Right? They get more comp picks than I've ever seen in my whole life. But guys, that was our first round mock draft, all teams. We do them annually. We will have mock drafts coming out on Thursday morning, our final ones. Catch us in London this weekend. We'll be doing some live content, some live video reactions of going down on the night, coming onto the socials. We look forward to seeing you all there and speaking to you all soon.